Now, if she happens to have more talent than the husband and she is capable of making more money, then she should, without the obligation. It's
Wow.
never her responsibility. She's always pinch hitting for him.
Too. Look, it's such an important topic, money, and it touches everyone's life, as you well know, on many aspects of our lives. And so we're very blessed to have you share your perspective and your wisdom because it's very much needed. Let's start with one area, Rabbi, that it touches always and not necessarily always in a good way. That is marriage. It's also one of your areas of expertise. You've helped so many couples over the years. And being that most of my audience is married, let's just start with the hot topic of marriage and money. So I guess my first question regarding that is we often hear that this becomes a source of tension in a marriage, right? And so from your estimation and your experience, what are some things that couples could be doing better on a practical level, and could be implementing so that this doesn't become this sticking point, or if they know this is really something that's causing tension, what could they be doing better?
Well, the experts have been saying for a long time that money is the most common problem in marriages.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's true.
Mm,
I think the most common problem in marriages is the lack of respect.
mm-hmm.
Without respect, living together becomes terrible,
Mm-hmm.
painful. If a man is not making a lot of money, it could cause the wife to lose respect.
Wow.
But it's the loss of respect that kills the marriage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Poverty doesn't push people apart. On the contrary, it makes them try harder together.
Mm-hmm.
They're more dependent on each other.
Or it should, right?
Yes, by nature it should. But
Mm-hmm.
if we put all our respect in money making
Mm-hmm.
and the husband can't make money, well, there goes the respect.
Right.
So it's the loss of respect that damages the marriage, not the lack of money.
It's so interesting that you brought that point because I often hear women share with me that, they wish the blessing of livelihood would come through their husband instead of solely or maybe partly through her. Um, they think that's ideal. Some of them resent having to help her husband make a livelihood because again, they feel that this should be the sole responsibility of the husband. Some even say they feel pressured. I don't know if the pressure is imagined or real by the spouse. The husband is pressuring them to contribute more to the income. Um, but assuming that it might be real, I guess the question is it the husband's sole responsibility? Is the blessing something that should be welcome no matter where it comes? Which of the parties is the conduit for it? What's the right approach here?
The responsibility is completely on the husband.
Hmm.
And if the wife feels responsible, it's going to be very painful, very uncomfortable because it's unnatural.
Wow.
Now, if she happens to have more talent than the husband and she is capable of making more money, then she should, without the obligation. It's
Wow.
never her responsibility. She's always pinch hitting for him. Most women who can make money love making money. I mean, if you use your talent and you're successful, why in the world would you not be happy about that?
Mm-hmm.
They're not happy about the responsibility, which should not be theirs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, for example, a man is a smart, practical thinker, and he realizes his wife is better at making money than he is. So he asks her, "You go to work." Why is that any different than hiring a bookkeeper?
Mm-hmm.
The bookkeeper doesn't feel responsible for your parnosa,
Mm-hmm.
but he has a talent. So when the husband asks the wife to go to work, it's like taking responsibility for hiring the right person for the job.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not giving her the responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So if he demands that she go to work, that means he thinks she's responsible.
Wow.
She is not responsible.
Right.
Because in primitive language, well, maybe shouldn't be primitive, the deal between husband and wife is I need you to be the nurturer of my children.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you can properly nurture your children is if you have nothing else on your mind, so that you are 100% present.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way to nurture. If you're not 100% present, then you're just a nanny. It's not nurturing.
Okay.
So the husband says, let's make a deal. I'll worry about everything.
Mm-hmm.
You just raise the children.
Mm-hmm.
That's the deal. As soon as you put a responsibility on a mother or a wife, it feels unnatural.
Wow. So it feels unnatural. However, if she has a talent and an ability and she's okay using it, and that doesn't interfere with her raising her children.
It doesn't make her worry about the money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
when she's making money, it's not that this not big a distraction from the kids. The kids don't feel like they lost their mother.
Right. Right. But then we go back to that tag. I can already hear the audience thinking, okay, but that puts me in a position where I lose respect for my spouse. Like you were talking about respect before, because at at some point, yes, it is unnatural for her to feel that responsibility, but it's also very hard for her to be the one that's making the money. Let's say even if she's the sole breadwinner, and not feel the burden of her, let's say, business enterprise, being the one that pays for the bills. So it lends itself to that tension where then she resents the husband because she carries all the burden.
So I'm suggesting that the burden doesn't come from doing the work.
Right.
That's enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
fulfilling. The burden comes from the feeling that I have to because otherwise we're going to starve. And she
Aha.
doesn't have to because he will take full responsibility if she can't
Mm-hmm.
or doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you're working for somebody else, the end of the day, no matter how much money you made or didn't make, you go home and you got
Mm-hmm.
nothing to worry about.
Right. Right.
Whereas if you're the owner of the business, it's a total constant distraction.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So if she enjoys making money, it's a pleasure. It's not a burden
Right.
or any other talent that she's good at. It's the responsibility, and that's the security that a wife needs from her husband is not the security of wealth. Is the security that if I can't, it's his responsibility.
Wow. Right. Right.
Now, going back to the respect thing, in a very materialistic society, we admire people who make money.
Mm.
And if you can't make money, then you're a loser.
Right.
But is that even true? Guys who make money are good people,
Right.
and guys who can't make money are not good people.
Right. It's so messed up. You're right.
Particularly, we have this unspoken assumption.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who makes money is a real guy. If a guy doesn't make money, he's not a guy.
Wow.
So his wife looks at him and he feels emasculated. He's not just a loser, he's a disaster as a man.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it becomes a self fulfilling prophecy. He does become emasculated. And now you have some serious problems. Now he,
Right.
now he has to be on Viagra, in addition to the anti-anxiety pills that he's already taking.
Right. So, and I do totally agree with you, but I'll challenge you with the fact that you did say at the beginning, it is the sole responsibility of the husband. Um, According to Torah, it is the sole responsibility of the husband, right?
Yeah. But the ability to make money, not the responsibility, the ability to make money, is it's never guaranteed.
Right.
No matter how smart you are,
That's a good point.
you need a little help from above because
Right.
some of the smartest people can't make a nickel.
Right.
And
That's
some
right.
really dumb people are filthy rich. I mean, but here's the important point. It doesn't make you more of a man. Money has no gender.
Mm-hmm.
So if a man makes more money, he's more of a man? Why in the world?
Beautiful.
And by the same token, if a woman can make more money than the man, then she's the man,
Please,
or
God, no.
she's now a fulfilled woman. It has nothing to do with gender.
Right.
So having a great job doesn't make you more of a man, and getting a great job isn't going to make you more of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just pay the bills.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting because as I heard you speak, you said a few things like maybe she feels like she has to because she will starve otherwise, or the security that she needs from him. I kept coming back to the fact that a lot of this has to do with strengthening our trust in Hashem, our bitachon, and putting our exclusive doing what we need to do, but really putting as a couple, individually and as a couple, really strengthening that foundation. I like to see it as a foundation of our financial life, right? That exclusive trust in God.
Well, a woman looks at her husband who can't seem to make a living and she blames him
Mm-hmm.
and loses respect for him.
Right. But she
And
shouldn't be
really,
blaming him. It's really a conversation between her and Hashem.
yes, she should be asking Hashem for her husband to be successful
Mm-hmm.
because that's where success comes from.
Right.
But as you say, women, wives often feel my husband is irresponsible, so I have to be the responsible one.
Mm-hmm.
It's devastating. Now she resents him for turning her into the husband,
Right.
and nobody is happy.
Right. Something else that I've heard before, getting back to the practicalities of this, where sometimes I suggest that the couple should be involved together and she should help make the financial decisions. There should be transparency and communication. They should try to get on the same page and all that. I hear sometimes women tell me, you know what, Yael, how can you tell me to get involved in the financial decisions of my household, to be this active participant and to work on it jointly with my husband, if according to Jewish law, he is the owner of the assets, the money is his, therefore he's the only one who can make decisions. Now, I'm not an expert, but I'm asking you. I don't think Jewish law is suggesting that a wife not be involved and helpful in making financial decisions alongside her husband. Can you maybe clarify this for the audience?
Marriage is a partnership, but when it comes to finances, it's not an equal partnership.
Okay.
In fact, you really can't have a totally equal partnership because then nothing will ever happen.
Mm-hmm. Ah.
You can't have equal authority. It's like you can't have two kings fighting
Uh-huh.
over the crown. Somebody's got to be the king and somebody has to be the queen. You can't have two kings.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, a woman should offer her advice, her suggestions, her encouragement, her input, but the decision completely his
Mm-hmm.
because he's going to have to face the music if it doesn't work because it's his responsibility.
Right. We go back full circle. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Here's another thing. Why do we need to make money in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
It seems so unnatural. It's like a big scheme. You'll go to school, you'll read certain books, you'll get smart at something, and then you'll go and you'll do it, and somebody will pay you. And then with that money, you can buy food and you can finally have something to eat. It seems so contrived,
Right.
so unnatural. Animals wake up, run around the neighborhood, and find something to eat
Mm-hmm.
or someone to eat. Why do we have this convoluted lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
It all came from eating from the tree of knowledge. It is not natural. And today, it's starting to really annoy people. What is it? We work 6 days a week so that we can have one normal day? 6 days in order to have one normal day? That's crazy. At best, it should be the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Work for a day, and then you have for 6 normal days. In other words, going to work, having a job, having a career, it's some kind of a necessary evil. Not, it's not life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a life support. Having a job, making money, getting a paycheck at the end of the week is a way of supporting life. But then when do you get to live?
Mm-hmm.
One day a week? It's crazy. So, two things. First of all, we have to understand, why did God do this to us? It's not normal. It's not natural. It doesn't even seem right. 6 days a week, you have to run around and patchka with things that are not part of your life, that is not so that you can have one normal day as a family and as doesn't make sense. And number two, if you're thinking that having a good career and being successful at work will make you feel like your life is worth living, you're in for a huge disappointment.
Right.
It it doesn't make life worth living because it's not meant to. People get very disillusioned.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this would make my life wonderful.
Right.
And I'm very successful and I have all the money in the world and I don't have a life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's shocking and it's disillusioning and now what? And I don't know what to do with myself. And then you're on pills and you're on drugs. And your job is never meant to make your life meaningful. Don't expect it to,
Mm-hmm.
so that you're not disillusioned or disappointed when it doesn't, because it
Mm-hmm.
won't. So we have to make a huge shift in our thinking. You work all day and you're responsible and you accomplish and you come home and you just need a break from life. No,
Right.
your life hasn't started yet.
Mm-hmm.
That was just work. When you come home, now your life begins.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't treat it that way.
Right.
We come home and we want to be left alone
Right.
because I did my part.
Mm-hmm.
I made my contribution to life.
Mm-hmm.
No, you didn't. We shouldn't even call it making a living.
Right. Right. And I always try, I remember learning that from the Friedeker Rebbe. I always try not to do that, making a livelihood, not a living.
You're making an existence.
Mm,
If you have money and food to eat, you can continue to exist.
mm-hmm.
What does that have to do with life?
Right.
If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. These ideas, these messages, this approach to life, this approach to Torah, to meaning, and to morals is vital for the world today. And we need to get this message out to the entire world. It is universal, it's essential, it's indispensable. To support this effort, if you want to be a partner in this crime, check out the link and make a donation. It really helps a lot. And thank you in advance.